Okay, now I will start with Ethereum, and I'll start with the 15-minute arc and the channel that it's been in. So on Ethereum's 15-minute arc, we see it in an ascending channel. We talked about it last night in our session, and it's meeting some sort of resistance at the midline on the shorter time frame. Now, if I hide the drawings from here, and I just keep the MAs for you guys to see, it is still holding a lot of support on the 1 hour. The 20 has turned down, but the 10 is catching it. So the 10 is a strong one here to be holding it. And it hasn't back tested any of the bigger MAs on the 4 hour. So it hasn't even back tested the 10, hasn't back tested the 20 or the 50. Now, it might do so today if we are looking at the 15-minute arc. If these were the 3 steps down, 3 steps up, sorry, we should be expecting 3 steps down. On the 15-minute, I believe we've had a resistance peak here. We've had the first spike, if I can consider this little spike the first spike, and we need the second and the third. So that might take us again to a correction of about 1700, but I think I've measured the target a little bit more precisely. 1738 would be more precise. Now, that is, of course, if it decides to come down, and for that to happen, our confirmation will be breaking the 20 on the 1 hour. It's been testing it for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the past day it's been testing it 7 times. So it clearly wants to break it, but it hasn't yet. So at the moment it's holding it. It might be a case like this, holding, and then spike down, or it might be a case like this, holding, and then a lift up. I believe that at the moment we should get in on this short on confirmation, because if you don't have a position that you're keeping from up here, which I don't recommend you keep for where it is now, because it is holding support. So technically when it is holding support, it is holding support for continuation. So don't lose out on your profits. The RSI on the hour still hasn't reset to the bottom, which is why I tend to believe that it is the move down is the more likely one. But we can still continue because the RSI has bounced off the midline here. So it's done this on the 1 hour. The stochastic RSI has reset. On the 4 hour, the stochastic is heading down. That's not a good sign, but again, it can turn down and do a small correction and then lift up. Any short that I would do at the moment, I would do it on confirmation, because if of course I am taking into account that the peak formation is in, and I believe that the peak formation is in. To me, this is a solid peak formation. So now I would be waiting to short on confirmation. That's where Ethereum is this morning. I will be looking at, there hasn't been any significant progress on the daily since yesterday. It's just holding support at the moment. Once that support breaks, it's going to come down for a correction. If that support doesn't break, and the resistance for it is really close. The resistance is this line at 1800. Once it breaks the 1800 and it holds it, and here, because it is a 1 hour trade, I would be looking for one candle of 1 hour to hold above the 1800. So one candle breaks it and the other one holds it. I would be looking for that hold, because it will be a nice juicy profit, and if that breaks, I again, I know I measured the next target to be 1853, but I believe that the next target will be around the 1900 mark. So it will be a great profit to go in for. I would take some profits here at the 1850 and then leave it running, and then DCA on the way up. That's what I would do. So confirmation now. I don't like it when the market is holding so close in a tight range. Something is brewing for sure. Now, having said that, I took my profits on my Bitcoin short because again, it's holding in this range. Now it looks like it's gonna break the VWAP on the 15-minute. It did reach. Let me show you where Bitcoin was last night. Yes, so it reached the 10 on the 4-hour, and it is holding it. So it does seem to be breaking this peak formation. So again, this is nice to see. Let me hide the drawings. It does seem to be breaking this line of the peak formation, but I don't trust it, and the reason is it's been in this space for way too long, and the MAs are not turning considerably. So the 20 is coming down, the 5 is pushing down, but I'm not enjoying the pace that this is moving at. And I made myself stick to my 1-hour trading rule. If the trade hasn't gone anywhere in the past session, come out, because again, something might be brewing here. It might be consolidating for another leg up. The biggest I got great profits from my XRP short yesterday, because XRP did a retest of the 55 on the day, so did a proper retest. Bitcoin not so much. It actually moved within a very small space from here to here, 2.3, so very little, and it does look to me like it wants to. It's making higher. This is a double top, not a higher lows. It's making higher lows, and I don't like that for my short. So I promised I won't get trapped before this move, because again, it is chances are it is going to be a big move, and I don't want to be in a short or take a big hit. Now on the daily, again, we're staying above the 55. So as long as we're staying above the 55 and above the 20, the trend is up, and we should be looking for retracements to the down and then going in on the way up. MACD has bounced off and it's going upwards, and the 4-hour is the opposite way, is coming down. Now I don't know how far off the 4-hour is going to come. I anticipated at least a 20 EMA retest on the 4-hour, and it didn't do it. It might be doing it this morning. Who knows? I'll just sit out and wait and see what's going to happen, because I don't like this. This is looking very contained, very controlled. So it's better to protect the profits, take them, and then wait out. That's where things are. If I'm looking at the 15-minute pattern, I would say the next step will be down, because we've had this is the first spike, resistance peak, second spike. Now if this is mid-range high and this is third spike, then that might be it. We might be done. And this might be double top here, first drop, and now going up for mountain peak. That might be it. But if I'm looking at the levels on the 15-minute, the levels on the way up were quite big. I don't, unless again, my main concern here is the fact that we have changed to from being under the 55 and under the 20 on the daily EMAs to being above them, which means that we are going bullish. So the trend is changing for the up. So unless these have been resistance, first spike, resistance peak, second spike, mid-range high, third spike, double top, first drop, and now coming up for mountain peak on the 15 minute, I don't think we're done. I think we might be done according to this count, but I don't think we're done considering this happened in this range and the lift happened in this range. So it was on the fib retracement. On the fib retracement, this is a 382 correction, and it has a double bottom here. So that's what I'm mindful of in terms of getting caught. I don't want to be caught. It has its double bottom on the 15 minute, and it hasn't gone anywhere in the past. I'd say 8 hours. 8 hours, 6 hours. I'm terrible with counting hours and generally simple maths operations. So that's where we are. Again, I can't tell you more than mid-range high. I can't tell you more than this because at the moment things are looking both ways because of the sideways and because of the small range for both Ethereum and Bitcoin. I have to see a breaking of a support or a breaking of a resistance to make up my mind and understand where this is going. So at the moment, it just looks like it's come back into this space, into this wedge on the 4 hour for Bitcoin, but I can't tell you if it's going to go upwards or downwards. I will tell you that the more natural thing to do would be to retest the EMAs on the 4 hour and the top line. That's all that I can say, and I will be watching for the breaking of that support. So for the short time frame, it would be breaking this previous low and holding it. So I would be watching at least on the 15 minute to have 2 candles below the previous low to hold it. That's where things are. Good luck trading today. Trade on confirmation, and let me know in the chats if you guys have any questions or any doubts. And I'm gonna hand it over to Roy now for XRP. At the end, you can let us know if you have any questions about any coin.
So with XRP doing its volatile snaps yesterday, thankfully so. It allowed me to hit my target and take my profit. So at the moment, if you look at this ascending triangle, it broke out and then it came back down and did a let's have a look at the fibs here. Did more than a 786 correction, yeah. And what it did was it came back down and bounced off the 55 on the daily. This is 37. Here says 37.20. Bounced off the 55 on the daily. Excuse me. Now where's it going after that? Is I was watching it. Excuse me. And it did a triple top here. So you can see a really solid triple top on the 1 hour here. So when I was watching that, I also flicked to the 4 hour. Again, a nice solid triple top as well. And my thought is when I zoom out to the bigger impulse, this impulse here is we've had 1 drop, we've had 2 drop. and then this is the lift in mid-range high. This is the final lift before the drop for the third drop, and you can see the levels: 1 level, 2 level, and then the third level is potentially down here at 34.88. So potentially this is in. It still would facilitate a pump up. Excuse me. But we'll see. So now, what else was I looking at? Go back to this chart. Here's the same ascending triangle. Yeah. So when I was watching it, and I saw, I'm flicking on to the 15-minute now. I saw it come down, and it wicked. It came back up, and I saw it I saw the triple top. Took profit, bounced back up, and then I watched at the turn of the day. To see what I was going to do. Let me just take this in here as well, yeah? And take the VWAP. And take the VWAP and pop the VWAP in here, yeah? So, at the turn of the day, there we go. Turn of the day was here, yeah? And I had saw that this drop here turned the 15-minute EMAs, the 20 cross the 55, up here at 37.95. So I was watching that and I said, okay, there's got a triple top on the hour, even the 4 hour. The 15-minute has crossed over. The day has turned. The VWAP is moving, and it looks like the VWAP is going to be resistance. So I hopped in. I hopped in on a short. So I jumped in at 37.71. 37.71, somewhere down here, yeah. 37.71. So you can see that it's pushed down. It's doing a bit of a sideways while this is moving through here. And I put my stop loss up here just above this level here at 38.33, which is a 15% stop loss, because it is a dodgy zone. This could turn around and go the opposite direction very, very, very easily. Yeah, but I saw, look, triple top, 50 minutes crossed over. Last night I was saying to you about I'm going to reverse it now. I'm going to put in the 1 hour. And I'd said that on this pump up, the 1 hour EMAs on the 1 hour 20 crossing the 55, the 1 hour had gone, and the 2 hour had gone. The 2 hour had crossed over, and it has done its initial pump. So when it does its pump, it comes back and back tests the 55. Yeah, so it's done that even more so. It's still bouncing off it at the moment. So it could very much just turn around and go and do a much bigger pump up, and again to take off and go more. Yeah. However, it has done a solid rejection here. So when I saw the triple top, when I saw that the 5 had crossed back down and the 15 had crossed back down, it looks like and the VWAP is resistance. It looked like a good opportunity to jump in, yeah. But again, minimize the risk. So now, what am I looking at here? Is you can see the 15s crossed over. You see the 30 minutes crossed over. The VWAP is still resistance, and I'm looking at potentially the hour crossover. So the hour has a bit to go before it crosses over. Yeah. Now I do believe that while this is a solid triple top on the hour, price action at the moment is moving in the 4 hour range to the daily. All this here is very slow sideways action, dragged out over days. Yeah. So it's definitely moving at a 4 hour, if not a daily pace. So things are taking longer to move. A lot more of the MAs they're gradually They're gradually working their way through. And it's holding form at the moment. It's holding form to reversal for the turn down, yeah. So now here I am on the 1 hour. So targets. What are my targets? I have a target at 35, and I'll show you why in a moment. I am looking at, you can see the 20 and the 55 here. If this crosses over, it may just come and kiss and turn. So I'm super mindful that this might just run out of steam and break on the 200, or possibly come down as far as the 400 here at 36.70 or so. You might get an initial push down, and then it fail, turn around and head back up. Is absolutely, that could happen. So now that would be the reversal on the 1 hour. We'll see what happens. But now, why did I go for 35? And again, I showed you that earlier on. Yeah, is when I zoom to the 4 hour. When I zoom to the 4 hour is, and I do believe it's moving on a 4 hour and a daily rather than just a 1 hour at the moment. So 1 level down, 2 level down, third level down is around here at 35, and again maybe coming down and wicking through the 200 on the 4 hour, or this is the 400 MA on the 4 hour. Get that wick down there, yeah. Now that still facilitates. I zoom out. That still facilitates a bigger move to the upside. It still facilitates it, yeah. So it's possible. So I'm just watching it. Could it be a signal for a deeper low? It could, and I'll show you why. Where's my chart now? Sorry, this chart here, yeah. So again, here's the ascending triangle, yeah. So I'm going to zoom out. Just to remind you about this chart, is each one of these green lines maps out a parabolic move. Yeah, there's a volume drop. So now, when you go back in history, it shows the volume drops and the volume lifts. These green lines, yeah. Equally, these yellow lines equally show the same thing. Is on the way up and on the way down. Is in all XRP's price history. Is when these lines get broken, they're big moves. Okay, up or down. So now, if it does drop lower. So if it breaks this green line, to me it's a pretty good signal that we are going lower. So here's this green line here. So here is 36.54. So remember we looked at the hourly. 36.54, this 400 MA here, is we may just get to here. And this would fit in with bouncing off this green line, not breaking it. If it breaks it though, you can see already in this price action, it touched it once, it did a little breakthrough here, is potentially you might want to bounce off it again. And there are times when the indicators are screaming down, and then the indicators just, price action goes in the opposite direction and keeps going. I just think it's one of the ways the market makers just pulls the rug on the whole market. All the indicators are screaming, it needs a reset, I think it needs a reset. I'm pretty sure it's going to do a double bottom and potentially even do lower lows. But then also this is the time when the indicators fail. Market makers, the people that really move the market, they just decide to send it up. And if they do, is then we're looking at a much bigger target, up around 58 to 60. 58 to 60. Here's the yellow line on above. So there's the big move above. You see we bounced off the yellow line here. Potentially it's not going to stop until it gets back up here again, somewhere around the 57, 58. Equally, if it bounces off the green line, it might even go further. I don't think it's going to go up. I don't think it's going to go up to 67. And just completely go against what the indicators are saying. Totally overheat them, and then get a major collapse when it does get up this far. So I'm a bit suspect of the indicators, all indicators at the moment, because this is the time when they fail, when the market makers have set everybody up. So so my straight answer is to me it looks like it needs to do a drop and reset, but I don't think that means too much at the moment. This could just pump. So in the short term, I am playing this trade, and we'll see how it goes. So my target is 35, which is the 400 MA on the 4 hour. It would be on this impulse here. It would be a 702 correction. It would be a 702 correction. Yeah. I may be wishful thinking. So I'm super cautious around 36.64 to see a better reversal. So on the way to that, on the hour, is to get to 36.64 is on the hour has to break the 200 MA. So this is the thing, if the 200 MA is going to get broken on the hour, and you can see it's on its curve, it's actually heading down a little bit at the moment. If the 200 on the hour gets broken, while the 200 is actually heading down, to be honest, that's a pretty strong indication that we're actually coming down to a lower level. I'm doing a 4 hour move, but again, we'll see. We'll see. It could just as easily bounce here and head on up, which would be, last thing I'm going to say about it, which would be going back to the EMAs on the 2 hour is price action bouncing off to 55 again, maybe another little bit of a wick through, and then it just slingshots up and continues on up. So that's I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. Okay, so that's the zone I'm in. That's the zone I'm in at the moment. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So I think a really good indicator, this is actually the last thing I'm going to say, is, I'll copy this here. This here, this green line, is the 55 on the daily. So the 55 on the daily is about 37.21. If this starts to get broken, I think there's a good indication that we'll get a stronger push down. And why might I say that? Another thing I looked at last night, I know I said it's the last thing I'm going to say, but this actually is. On the daily, also one of the reasons why I went in on the trade is on the daily, the stock on the daily, stock RSI on the daily turned down, which is a good indication that today is going to be down. How far? I don't know. And then equally, the MACD on the daily also turned down. Earlier on, now it had wicked through a little bit. So I just thought those two guys have turned down on the day. Maybe it's only for half a day. So on the 12 o'clock turns, we'll see how the MAs are set, and we'll take it from there. So that's it. That's it for now. Now, enjoy the rest of your day, and again, good luck with your trading.